Hey guys, Thomas from Team Sakuraso here. Come at you guys with the first episode of Can This Deck Compete in Genesys. Now, I may change that title, but that's what I have at least for now. We will be playing Madolche in Genesys, and what I'm going to be doing in these videos is I'm going to show you guys the initial deck that I showcase. I'm going to show you guys then 3 duels best of 1 because I don't want any type of side deck interference. I want to see how the deck does to its core rather than, you know, get floodgated out of the game. Unless that's naturally in game 1, then oh well, that's what you run into. And then go over the deck and kind of see what I would change. Now, the first deck I have here is Madolche, and before I begin, guys, since this is the first episode, I want to see if you really like this or not. So make sure to smash that like button so I can really see the reception you guys have, as well as any critiques, tips, or advice. I would love it in the comment section below. It could be about how I did the video. It could be my gameplay. It could be whatever. I mean, I know everybody doesn't like their gameplay being critiqued, but that's how they get better, and I'm not that great of a player. But I like to have some fun, and Genesys is a lot of fun because the one thing I love about Genesys, and I'll always say this, is it makes decks that aren't good enough for the for advanced good enough to at least play and have some fun with. You know, you may still scrub out at locals, but you could get a few wins, right? And that's what I really like. Subscribe, also notifications, and we're just gonna go with this video. So Madolche, one of my favorite decks here in the game right now. I wanted to stay under 100 points. I've played going second board breaker Madolche, and I played basically every iteration of Madolche besides post Phantom Rage, just because I didn't want to not like my deck and just get stomped by Shifter because it was at 3 at the time and everybody was playing it. And right now we have 2 Madolche here. This is great. This is your starter, obviously, but I've decided just to try 2 just to get under 40. This is kind of a last minute cut. Maybe I'll put this up to 3 because this is another starter, just like putting Sasor. You either want to see Madolche or petting Sasor. 3 Angeli here, 2 Messenger Lotto, just because this guy's not once per turn. And once you get the ball rolling on these spell and traps, they're going to be able to set each other, like with, you know, Madolche Ticket's going to get you plus, Salon's going to let you set from the deck when a fairy's return. It's pretty good, actually. Then we have 3 Hoot Cake. This card is just a card that keeps facilitating your combos. The 1 Pudding Cess. I know that some people actually cut this and they do a completely different combo. And the deck post Phantom Rage, you're actually able to either play Pudding Cess as the one of and then do the combos with Chocolate Almond, or you're actually able to just skip that entirely. But I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the post Phantom Rage combos because while I've seen them, I have never played it. And the Madolche players were debating if this is the best card or not, or you know, if we want to go through the Chocolate Almond route or not. So I just played with what I know. 3 Herald of Orange Light. I am playing this just because with the amount of points allowed in Genesys, since this is a 0-point hand trap, it's actually pretty good, especially because we have so many fairies that we could add. From the Vern cards all the way to the Yugioh cards. We have 2 Vern here, 2 Duck, and a Bear. I like that. I'm pretty happy with how the Vern cards play and that ratio. Then we have the Yugiohs. Now, while I've already recorded my 3 games, I'm going to say one quick thing. The Yugioh cards felt hit or miss to me. I did like the interrupt at times in the graveyard where if they like target a card in the grave to do something, you could shuffle it back and it misses that target. But I do want to already cut these down a little bit to 2 and 2. Maybe see how I like that a bit more. We're just playing whatever Madolche. They're searchable, and to be honest with you here, if you draw, and they also can recycle with like Tiramisu and other effects. But I have to say, I don't mind drawing one either. Like if I draw a Salon, cool, right? It's not a big deal. If I draw a Chateau, cool. I search something else. I don't really have an issue with drawing one at all. I've never been like, oh, now I can't do it, especially if it's like a Salon, a Chateau, or a Ticket. If anything, it just helps the deck become a little stronger, in my opinion. I threw the Raigeki in here just for fun, to be honest. Then we have 3 Dominus Purge here. This is a card that was, you know, it doesn't really disturb any of our combos. The only thing that it really can affect is actually just like anything we put in the extra deck. So like, you know, Silent Honor Arc, if we make it later on, kind of sucks. And I think this, it doesn't say Wind, I believe. So yeah, Castell's still alive. And really it's just Silent Honor Arc is the only thing you have to remember that you can't really activate. And I don't think that's ever even come up for me. Then we have 3 tiramisu, 2 quick play tiramisu, never really needed more than 2. 2 chocolate almond for combo, 2 glass souffle, and then some generic stuff that I put together. Now, I definitely would fix up the extra deck a little bit more, but again, this was my first run through with Madolche and Genesys. I wanted to get more familiar with the format as well, so I kind of just stuck to what I knew. This extra deck in reality kind of just looks like hat format. I think that's why I put it here, because I was playing some hat before this. So my mind was in there. But we're just going to see how this goes, and we're going to see the first game. So for our first game here, we actually have fresh off the press AKJ. Shout out to him. Love the boy. We actually start off with putting special here, and we're able to kind of do the basic combos here. We also have opened up the Zerch, which is pretty good. A Vern to extend, and we have Herald of Orange Light, just so we have a negate from hand. Now, he drolls here, and I want to actually talk about my choice here. You guys are probably thinking, well, you could have Herald of Orange Light this Droll and Lockbird and really popped off. Why didn't you do that? Well, I was honestly very scared of Nib. Nib is in this format, as well as some other hand traps. I kind of envisioned the board that I could have, and I thought to myself, okay, so he has 5 cards since he drolled. You know, we don't know what his 5th card is going to be when he draws for turn. We don't know other hand traps he has. With what I can do now, do I think that'll be enough to just kill him that next turn? And that's kind of why I did Herald of Orange Light here. We're just going to keep going here. So we just special some cards, make the Tiramisu, make the quick play, and I kind of just stop right here. So what we have on the board is we have the Tiramisu, which is a on my opponent's turn whenever I can shuffle into the deck. We have the set desserts here, and then we have Chateau here. I don't actually remember why I didn't activate Chateau, but I think it's just because the board, this was protected by Angeli, so I wasn't really worried about this card. And I wanted to also keep it to an extent for Chocolate Alamon, since this is going to boost up all my monsters, but they can't really return. If you didn't know, the new Tiramisu card returns the extra deck no matter what. So I didn't really want Chateau, not just because of, honestly, I was just missing the stat gain. So that's kind of why. Again, I was also experimenting here. So now he is actually playing Odeon. If you didn't know, this is one of Jay's favorite decks. I should have thought about it. So here, I know a little bit about Odeon. I'm like, okay, this is their only summon here. I'm going to Herald of Orange Light right here and take this out. He doesn't have, I think, the field spell protects this, I believe. So I Herald of Orange Light here. It's going to stop him from getting the other card as well. And I kind of saw that as worth here. He sets 2. I just shuffle him back here, and then you know, we're going to get the Search of Salon here because we're able to search. Now, during his turn, he's going to have Statue of Anguish here. And then he's going to chain. Now, I don't want him to pop here, so I'm just going to let him return this to the field. I'm going to get the draw, which is good, and then he's going to set over here the Aphelios of Serpent. So I kind of made a little misplay here, because now my board is actually kind of blocked. I'm used to playing Madolche where we have that extra field zone. So, you know, I'm getting my searches. I'm doing all this, right? I'm activating Chateau. But I can't make another Tiramisu because, you know, he negated here, right? But I'm able to set up a pretty good board. I just beat all over his guys. Attack for everything. He's pretty low here. I'm thinking myself that, hey, he has 1 card in hand. He's going to draw, have 2 cards. I'm not going to be worried because not only do I have, like, the interrupts, I also have Promenade as an Omni-Negate for his stuff. I can just negate whatever if he has, like, Man with the Mark or whatever I feel like, and then just return his 2 cards. So he draws for turn here. I'm not really too worried. I'm going to negate the field spell, though, and then all my stuff's going to trigger. He can't activate this. He just sets a card. End phase, I just shuffle his stuff back. And I ended up just attacking for a game right over here. Obviously, a little bit better, but this was the first game. So for our second game here, I'm actually facing my boy Swiggity. Really cool guy. He's actually helping me edit this video, and he does awesome streams on Twitch. More about him closer to the end of this video. But I end up just doing my usual combo here. We have Medora to extend. We have Promenade. I like opening up one of the Madolche spell traps like I've stated. And we just kind of pop off here. We're able to double Messenger Lotto here for Chateau and Salon. We activate Salon and Chateau because Chateau is an extender. That's something I do want to actually say, because you're able to detach from chocolate mode again since a card was shuffled, and then you get to special again, which I really like here. So sometimes you're in a pickle of which one you want to search. Salon, which is mandatory trigger 1. If you didn't know, Salon mandatory has to trigger phase 1. I set up the board here, go up to end phase. Something I do want to show very quickly here is actually the board state, because this is definitely one of the most optimal board states. So you have a shuffle 2 back, non-targeting into the deck. You target what's in the grave though, and then you also have your traps Promenade, which is a target face-up card your opponent controls any in a Madolche monster you control or in the grave. Remember that, and you basically negate it, right? Which is really good. So it's kind of an omni negate in a way, right? But it has to be on the field. Then you banish this card from your graveyard, and then you could just attach it if you really want to. Then you also have Madolche Dessert. This is a bounce. Basically, this is like a double compulse. You compulse one of your Madolches, then compulse one of their cards, and then you special, right? So it's not like the greatest trap, but it can also attach itself, which is really cool, to something like Chocolate Alamone during your opponent's turn as well. So it's not too bad here. I've always considered playing a second Promenade. I used to, but again, I'm trying to give you guys an optimal build as much as I can, even though this build is still in testing here. So we have some good interrupts, and if we had Herald of Orange Light or some type of Ishizu in the grave, then we kind of have another interrupt there, since the Ishizu could mess up the play depending on what you activate. So he does book a moon here. I have to unfortunately chain Promenade, because if he does, all my cards are dead and he just gets free reign. So I don't really have a choice there. Then Salon is going to set the tickets. Then he's going to Small World here, and we're playing Blackwing here actually, which is we'll consider one of the best decks, or one of the decks that people look really forward to in Genesys. I shouldn't use the best, but a lot of people are saying how this is going to be one of the best. A lot of people want to play it, and representation does matter. So he activates Black Whirlwind, the bane of my existence here. So something I want to do is here, I actually end up forcing the dessert here, just because while shuffling this Whirlwind into the deck would be pretty cool, because, you know, it just gets off the field. He's good. Then he's going to get the normal summon, and he already wasted his normal summon. He's going to have 3 cards in hand, and if he could play off of that, I do have the bounce, but the bounce could always be a wishy-washy interrupt. The reason I actually bounce here is because Black Whirlwind needs to read its target. This is actually something I learned from Edison. So Edison coming clutch in Genesys here. So I end up doing that. Over here, I special summon the Tiramisu just for like a beat stick here, because the specials from the extra deck. So now he's wasted his normal summon. He has 4 cards, but he doesn't get to search off Whirlwind. End phase, I'm like, oh, I'll Tiramisu here, shuffle back his 2, and then it's just a straight win for me. The third game, I'm against my boy Swiggity again here. So we start off with the Pudding Sensor again. You know, same combo, different day, or different match, I should say. And we kind of just pop off here. I go into Hoot Cake here, banishing, and then specialing Angeli. I do mess up a little bit here. I should have just specialed Angeli and then the Hoot Cake here. I end up kind of just going through the combo here, and I end up searching Salon, because I'm like, oh, I could keep popping off, not realizing I don't have what I need in the grave as well. So I end up doing a bit of a misplay here. I don't get the trap set, so this is not the optimal board, but we still drew an Imperm. We still have Herald of Orange Light, and we still have the 2 bounces. Again, this could have been played better by me. Now he Fuas here. I just say cool. Now the reason why I actually end up forcing Tiramisu here is because with Clockwork Knight, at least in the format, this changes everything into machine. You could just Chimera the whole board. So I don't want that to happen, and it's a machine deck. I know he's playing Chimera. There's no way, right? So I'm like, nope, I don't want to get all my stuff Chimera. That's why I forced that. You guys might be thinking, Saki, why did you mess that up and force that so badly? I had to. So I Imperm right here. I don't want him to get the search here. It's not worth promenading at all here. So I'm like, okay, then he activates Power Bond in the Imperm column, which is really funny to me. So I'm just like, oh, okay, that's fine. But seeing how I could easily just, negate that, or I still have the Promenade negate, and then I have Herald of Orange Light, I'm not really too worried. I was going to win that game anyway, but it was really, really funny because sometimes with these automatic simulators, you're just like, oh, I wonder which one's the input column. Who cares? You just activate anywhere from the center, and then you just get screwed over. So, bit of not the best played Duel, but it is what it is. So we are back after the 3 duels. What do I think of Madolche overall and what I would change from the build? Just remember, guys, before I go into further detail, hit that like button to show that you guys like this new series. Subscribe. Let me know what decks you guys want to see in Genesys next. I'm personally thinking Dragon Lure because Dragon Lures are super fun. Check out our sponsors, Whatnot, TCG Player, and all that in the description, as well as Whatnot. And consider being a channel member. Helps out the channel a lot, and you get channel member only videos. So far, even though I didn't really have a problem, I would definitely replace the Madolche, put a 3rd copy there, and I would definitely lower the Dominus cards. The other thing that I actually realized during the third duel is Fuwalos is 7 points in Genesys. I thought that card would just like automatically be something like 80 or 100, you know, something really high where if you play it, you're not really activating it much, something like that, which is pretty insane to me. That's only 7 points. So I would definitely maybe see if I could put Fuwa in here, as well as other ways to just help the deck stop other decks, like hand traps, all that. The Raigeki I just put in here last minute. I didn't think I would stick with it, and it didn't really come up, and I think I would definitely probably put in another Madolche, take out some of the Ishizu cards, and possibly the Raigeki, and then put other cards in there as well. Would I put a second Promenade would really only depend on my points and what other cards I put in. More if I put in like, and I was at like say 39 cards or maybe even 40, and I had like, let's say 3 Fuwa or whatever hand trap I wanted and other cards, maybe I would put in a second Promenade. But I know a lot of people are looking at this video like, Saki, you're already running, you know, the 3 spells and, you know, the 5 traps. Do you really have enough room for that? I personally think I might. Again, just depends on how the deck goes, and then I would play around with the extra deck. Like I said, for Madolche, you know, the Ishizus are going to lock you into Earth Fairies as well, so you're really just gunning towards the combos. I would definitely play around with the extra deck a little bit more, like I'd put in a Zeus, obviously, but Zeus is worth like I think 20-30 points. I'm at 82, so again, I would play around with it and then see if I could do that. But that is the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Maybe we'll revisit it. I definitely think Madolche could compete in Genesys because just having the Omni Negate and the 2 shuffle into deck is good enough, in my opinion, at least for this format. You could definitely get some wins. Having either some of your traps as well as, you know, double trap like Dessert and Promenade, and maybe even a Herald of Orange Light, it is going to help you. The Vernal Listing cards also help you draw, which is really good. If we had a way to search fairies, you know, with the Vern cards, if they ever made another Vern card that is a level 4, and then you get to search a fairy, hopefully they don't make it Earth Fairy, but if they just made generic fairy, I definitely think that would help the deck, because then you could play in a way where, oh, I could do my normal Madolche cards, but if I could search a fairy at the end, I could search Herald of Orange Light and pop off. I definitely like the Herald of Orange Light so far. That has definitely done way better than I thought it would. I thought it would be great, but it was a lot better than I thought. So that is the deck. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hopefully you guys like this new series. If possible, I like to bring you guys maybe this once per week, maybe do a Genesys stream, and we'll see how that goes. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.